right, good morning. Welcome back. It's been a week. I took a week off to go away, and now I'm back. So this is good news. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel /stream /YouTube uploads. Where were we? We were working on an editor, weren't we? So let's switch over here. Let's see. Yes. So we had this, right? We were in the middle of... We'd just gotten to step 150 something. 156. Right. And we started doing the syntax highlighting and we'd refactored some of it. Not there. Here's the editor, right? And then this was the little window I was using to actually run the editor. No. Apparently I have two windows doing builds. Why? Well, that's just for Clippy. And what's this for? Okay, so we can do Clippy and build, right? Clippy and X build. And then we can just run it here. Cargo run. Oh, I guess we have to run with a file. There we go. And then, right, so numbers are syntax highlighted, and we have page down, right? Yep. So I can page down and see all the syntax highlighted numbers. We also had Control F, which allowed us to do a search, use size, and then we can use arrow keys to do search. Yeah, I'm starting to remember this now. It's kind of awkward that it puts it right at the top, because you can't see the context above. You can only see the context below. All right, and then escape to get out of the search, Control Q to quit. Okay, so all of that still works. Nothing's broken, and we did push it. Yeah, we did push it up. Okay. So now, oh right, we had an issue where a dot was included in the number. There's a little bug here where we can have multiple dots, right? So if I say cargo run, and I say 1, 2, 3, that's all syntax highlighted. There's a dot, and it's red, and it's still red. But if I put a T and then 1, 2, 3, and you can see now the T is the indicates that's not a number. If I do this, I can still get this all red, and it shouldn't be, right? Because once the second dot shows up, then it's no longer a syntax. It's no longer a number, so it shouldn't be highlighted as a number. Or the dots should go away as highlights. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to address that later. But yeah, we should check to see if there's a dot. If there's multiple dots, then we don't want to highlight it as a number. And then we'd have to backtrack, right? Because this does a single pass. And we'd have to see where does the HL number start, and then go back and unhighlight those. Or just unhighlight the dots, any dots prior to that. I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. What do we do in NeoVim? If I go here in Vim source editor, and I say, oh, those don't show up as numbers, but if I say let foo equals 123 dot 123 dot 123 dot 123. Yeah, see, I don't know, it's hard to see, but this dot is not highlighted, whereas this dot is, or sorry, syntaxed, right? So these two dots are purple, and this dot is white. So I guess that's one way of doing it. All right, but enough rambling. That was just a warm-up. Let's get into this. Detect file type. Before we go on to highlight other things, we're going to add file type detection to our editor. This will allow us to have different rules for how to highlight different types of files. For example, text files shouldn't have any highlighting, and C files should highlight numbers, strings, C++ style comments, and many different keywords specific to C. Wow, that's going to be a lot of work, huh? Let's create an editor syntax struct that will contain all the syntax highlighting information for a particular file type. Okay, so how do we want to do this in Rust? I guess it depends on how we're going to implement the the syntax highlighting, right? So this is just file type, file match, and flags. File type is a field of, it's the name of the file type that will be displayed to the user in the status bar. Okay, so we could just say like C or C++ or something like that. I gotcha. Let's see, how do we want to do this? We can create a separate file, right? I'm going to say, oops, I hit Control P and now it's hanging. Guess it's been a while. We're going to create a new file for this new struct, pub struct. Edit our syntax. And we'll have the file type, which is a string. And this looks like it's going to be arrays of files. So maybe a vector string. File match is an array of strings, right? Where each string contains a pattern to match a file name against. If a file name matches, then the file will be recognized as having that file type. Finally, flags is a bit field that will contain flags for whether to highlight numbers and whether to highlight strings for that file type. For now, we define just HL highlight numbers flag. Where's HL highlight numbers? Where does that get set? Oh, that's over here. Okay, so we're going to create a highlight type, right? So file match. This is going to be a vector of strings. And then we're going to say flags. So I was going to put an enum, but it looks like we want to have multiple so let's take a look at that. Rust enum. Do we want to keep this page? Maybe. Yeah, Rust enum flags. If an enum looks like this, I want to do bitwise stuff on it. Enum in Rust is not intended to be used as bit flags. Public flags can only take the values given in the enum and not a combination. Store it as a U8 or maybe a U32 or something, and then use constants. And then use an external crate. So I don't want to do that. That would be a little annoying. Pub mod public flags. And then make them all constant. Oh, interesting. And then you could use public flag like this. Can we do that? Let's try it. Pub mod. And what were we calling them? Highlight. Highlight flags. And we can just shove the constants in there, right? Pub const. And I don't know how many there's going to be, but maybe U8 is too small. Let's see. Let's do U32. We can always change it later. Const numbers colon U32 equals X00 1. No, that's not 32. There, that's 32. And that's that. And then we can just say, oh, but we can't make it a type, right? Oh, but we can say it's a U32. So flags U32. Oops. And actually, we could just do this, right? Type flag. Editor flag is equal to U32, and then we can do this, right? Put a comma there. Let's write that, and then in main, we need to include it. And we're going to get warnings about stuff not being used. Oh, you can't. Oh, it's not found in this scope. Can I say use superstar? Yeah, okay. And then we're just having errors here that we're not using the stuff. Okay. That's good. I think this will work for this kind of a C port, right? We're making very C-like Rust is the thing. So it would be nice to like rip it all out, tear it all down, raise it to the ground, and then rewrite it as pure Rust. instead of a C-ish accent with Rust. So now we have this. So we're going to create a new... Oh, right. So we're initializing a global variable, which contains... And I don't know if you can do that. Right. You need like lazy static or something like that. Can I say pub const or just const HL or C HL extensions equals vec bang of .c toString .h toString and .cpp toString. Does that build? Nope. I'll have to provide a type for it. Vec string. I mean, those are constants, so it should. Oh, you can't do it this way? Oh, because I'm doing a toString. That's a shame. Alright, so we can do them as stirs, right? That should be allowed. But that means that these would have to be... Oh, yeah. Oh, we still can't do it. Allocation not allowed. How do you create a vec? I guess we can do it this way then, right? No, doesn't have the size noted compile time. 3? Okay. But now that's a fixed size of 3. I was going to say, okay, well, we can just do like a static stir, right? But we can't because we need to know the size at compile time. Not a static stir like this, a static stir like this. Yeah, so that won't work. Okay, so I think what we have to just do is create a runtime initializer. So let's undo all this stuff. Put all the toStrings back, and then we'll just say pub, impl, editor syntax, and just do pub fun new, and return self. And this is just going to say self of, oh, these actually is going to be an array of editor syntaxes. So let mod result equals vec new, or result.push, right? Editor syntax of, well, the file type is going to be C. The file match, file type. File match is going to be these guys. And then our flags is going to be highlight flags numbers. Oops, we have a problem, don't we? Oh, we forgot this. And then we just return result. What else am I missing here? Oops, flags, that's why. There, okay. All right. So this gives us this thing here, and we'll just have to add more. And unfortunately, we have to do it at runtime instead of compile time. This happens at compile time. And if I used lazy static, right, I could just make it a compile time thing. But does lazy static run at runtime? All right. So then in our editor, we will need access to our editor syntax somewhere. So editor. This editor is getting big. Editor syntax. It's going to be an editor syntax. And then when we create the editor syntax is editor syntax new. Oops. Oh, I have to use it. Nope. Oh, it's a VEC of editor syntaxes. That's right. There we go. Okay. So now we got that part done. HLDB stands for Highlight Database. Oh, HLDB it's called. Okay, we could call it that. Sure. Our editor syntax struct for the C language contains the string C for the file type field and extensions .c, .h, and .cpp for the file match field. The array must be terminated with a null, and the HL highlight numbers flag turned on in the flags field. We then define an HLDB entries constant to store the length of the HLDB array. Right, we don't need that in C. Now let's add a pointer to the current editor syntax struct into our global editor state and initialize it to null. Okay? Although they're calling it syntax. All right. I guess we can do that then, right? Syntax. There we go. When the syntax is null, that means there is no file type for the current file and no syntax highlighting should be done. Oh, that's so. Right. So we do need a syntax. It's going to be. Option usize. This is going to be an index into HDLB. Nope, HLDB. And go away. And that has to be initialized to none. I see what's going on here. Right? Because it's saying which one's the current one, and if it's none or null in this case here, that means there's no syntax highlighting. Okay, so editor draw status bar. What are we doing here? Oh, this is to show the file type. No FT. And it's putting it here. Okay, so this is on the right status. Draw status bar. So we have the 20s, we have the no name thing here. That's on the left side. Oh, on the right side is down here, and we're going to just say this. And we can just put this here as an if statement, right? If let some ft, file type is equal to self syntax. Oh, I see. We just put no ft, else we're going to say file type, comma. Okay. FT not found in the scope. Oh, I got these backwards. And usize is a primitive, therefore can't have fields. Oh, right. It's self HLDB FT dot file type. It's a private field. Okay. Do I make these all pubs then? Oops. Or have accessors for them? I don't know the best way to do that. Move occurs because value has type string, which does not implement the copy trait. And then this has to be ampersand. Oops. Drop while borrowed. Why? Right, so this, maybe I can say aster here, and then I can just do this. thing is they both have to be the same type. Yeah, okay. Because if I leave off the as stir here, then it's going to complain that it returns two different types. Right? It was expected a string, but this is a stir instead. So they both have to be stirs. All right, that's why I was going through that whole mess. Okay, so now if we run this, convert identifier to uppercase. Oh. Because it's a const? Is that why? And now what's it saying here? Help consider using the vec macro. Oh yeah, okay. Then we can just return that. We don't need a separate result. Vec bang this. And then we can get rid of results completely. Do I have that all correctly? Nope. There we go. Oh, the mod needs to be... Oh. Yeah, let's do it that way. I didn't realize it needed to be a snake case for the mod. I mean, I knew it, but I was just following this thing here, and it didn't occur to me to think, oh wait, Rust is going to complain. Okay. So I think we're to the point where, so Clippy's happy. Let's see if this actually runs, because nothing should be different now, except it should say no file type. Yes, it says no file type. Okay, so that part's, all of that's working. Now let's change editor update syntax to take current syntax value into account. So do we have an editor? Actually, let's commit these changes. We were up to 156. So git add source git commit -m 157 through 160, starting work on file type detection. All right, we're good. So in editor update syntax, oops. I guess it's not there. It's in row. I forgot. Okay. If e.syntax is null, then return. Okay, so what might be better is if we pass in the flags here. And then we have to use it, right? Use create editor flags, editor syntax star, right? And then where do we call update syntax? Right, oops, right here, and we want to pass in, oh, that comes from render row. Oh man, we can't do it that way. We can't do it that way. And I don't want each row to have knowledge of what the syntax is. Problem is, okay, so let's think about this. The row is the thing responsible for highlighting things. So it needs to know what to use for updating the syntax. So that means the update syntax has to be passed in here, right? Flags, which means it has to be passed in here. Right? Flags, editor flags. which means whoever calls render row, which is private to this thing, has to have the syntax flags. Right, it has to bubble all the way back up to the top, which means our flags. I'm gonna just do it this way for now, and then we're gonna think about a better way to do it. So insert char and new both need it. Row new. So now here's where we actually have to put in the editor syntax, which we haven't even detected yet. Right? As far as we know, I guess we can just pass in for here, we can pass in 0. Oh, no, because we need to render it with the right file type, which means we need to detect the file type from the start. All right, we're getting the file name here that we can detect. So that's probably what we're going to do in a little bit, is figure out what the file type here is in the build function, and then we're going to put whichever the syntax is here. So we need to know it here, which means we need to know this beforehand. Yeah, that's a little frustrating. We don't need multiple editor. I wonder if this can this move into here? Let's find out. Let HLDB equals editor syntax new. That's right. So row new, I'll pass in just zeros for now, and then was it insert char? No, not there. It's row.insert char. Yeah. Let's put a 0 there for now. Okay. And see if that compiles. Ooh, it doesn't. Editor flag's not found in the scope? I've got it right here. Oh, editor flag. I'm going to change it over here because I want it to be plural. Oh, it's still not found in the scope. Oh, it's not accessible. How's that? Does that make it accessible? Expected U32 to found struct. Oh, did I put U32? No? Expected U32 found struct editor syntax. Oh, really? Hang on. Oh, I put editor syntax here. Flags. Okay, and what's the next one? That's that one. And then render row. Oh, del char also needs it. Okay. Flags. Editor flags. Yeah, see, this is all awkward, isn't it? And split. Flags. Editor flags. And append string. See how bad this is? We're going to come up with a better approach at some point. I just need to let it churn through my brain. What else? That's it? And then we have to go back to append string. Oops. And put editor syntax again. Okay. So now del char needs 0. Right. Pen string needs a 0, right? Is that it? One more. Split needs a 0. Okay. Right, and then I wanted to see if we could HLDB. I wanted to see if we could just put this over here. Okay, so you can do that, and that means we'd be able to look up the file type here and put the correct syntax value there. Like that, which means we'll be able to pass the correct flags in here because we'll be able to retrieve the flags up here. All we need are the flags though. So would it make more sense to have this be an option of editor flags? And that way it's not an index into the thing. We'll just copy the editor flags from HLDB to here. That might be cleaner. Oh, right. No, we don't. We need more than just the flags. We actually need the full thing. Okay. All right. So that's that. And now we can actually add this thing here to the row. In render row, or sorry, update syntax, we look to see the digit stuff here. Okay. This line here is this line, these lines here, and then this is this wrapper here. So we can say if flags end, highlight numbers, then do this, right? Nope, apparently not. Expected bool found U32. Oh, right, because this is Rust. There. But Clippy's saying we can do better. Oh, yeah, this could be collapsed, but I'm not going to collapse it just yet, because we're going to add more, right? Or that would make actually we're not going to. Probably not going to add more for the numbers thing, but it's going to make it awkward for reading. Right, this is what Clippy is suggesting to do. Right? Is that easier to read? Oops, I forgot the and. Probably wrap that whole thing. I mean, this whole mess is hard to read anyway. So, I guess it is what it is. Hope you're happier with that. Yeah, okay. So now, we should be able to pull up a file now, Virgo and T, and it should not highlight. Hamana, how are you? Hamana says, nothing wrong with nested ifs sometimes. Yeah, I mean, if it improves readability, I agree. But this is already pretty unreadable, so I'm not going to stress about it too much. Yeah, so the 3 is not highlighted. What else do we have here for numbers? Yeah, all these zeros are not highlighted because we're not detecting a file type. And actually, I should call this t.c. And then we should be able to see from, oh, I rebuilt because I renamed the file. We should be able to see, and maybe we should make a Rust version of this, but let's start with C and see what happens. If no file type is set, we return immediately after M setting the entire line to HL normal. Oh, okay. Oops, we can do that by saying that there's no flags, right? If flags equals 0. Return. There's no reason to do anything if there's no flag set. So that's a simpler approach. All right. Mana says they're good. Excellent. Now we'll create an editor select syntax highlight function that tries to match the current file name to one of the file match fields in the HLDB. If one matches, it'll set eSyntax to that file type. Okay. So this would be in editor. Here, we're going to say editor, I'm going to make a static function, select syntax highlight. And we're going to pass in HLDB, and it's going to return a none or a sum of the index it finds. Where should we put this? I guess we can just throw it here at the bottom. Syntax, select syntax highlight, and this HLDB is in vec editor syntax, and it's going to return an option view size. I'm going to say none for now, just to make sure that we're on the right page here. Keep mistyping that. Okay, so this is good. And now we can write this. Syntax is null. If eFilename is null, return. Okay, so we can do that. Oh, we need a file name. Right, do that. We're making an str. If file name equals quote, return none. Okay, and then we're going to look for the dot. So we can say ends with. Can we do that with stir? Let ending equals split last. Rust split last. And you get the last component without having to collect them all. Is there a dot last? Like there's a dot nth of 0? I can only use next back if split white space. Split iterators can also be stepped from the other end using next back instead of next. And this guy is saying split on its own doesn't work, but split white space does. Okay, so let's back rust string. Split off. Oh, that's right. This is a stir. So I don't know if even know if we can split. But we can do a last on a vec. So we can say file name dot split. Can I do this? First of all, it does say it's a split. So we can say collect vec of stir, right? And then we can say last. And that's an option of ampersand stir. Why? Why though? Can we still use it? And then we want to say if ending is none. Oh, I guess we could just say a match on this. And it could be a none, in which case we want to return none. I guess we could just say none, and then some extension, right? Extension is ampersand stir. Do I have to do that then? .c? Oh, then we want to loop on it, right? I'm not even following the code here. We want to loop on all the HLDB entries for you're using J here, entry in, and what did I call it? HLDB. Oh, it's already ampersand. HLDB, and then entry. So what's entry? What's the type of entry? It's an editor syntax, right? We can say if entry.file match is equal to extension, but that might not work because we have an ampersand in front of it. Then we're going to return some, we have to return the index, so we want to enumerate, which means we want J, comma. I'm using J because they have J in their code. Sub J. If it doesn't find anything, then we're going to say none. Which means return none here, right? Oh, no. We can still do it this way. We could just say after the for loop, we just say none, and that should do it, right? And the only question is this going to work? So let's find out. HLDB in the file name. The method cannot be called on, oops. Oh, I have to say iter. Expected stir found struct string. Stir. Yeah, okay, so here we go. No implementation for vex string. Oh, because we can have multiple. Duh. So for ext in entry dot file match iter, and then if the extension is equal to ext, right, return some j. So double for loop. Is that the same thing? Yeah, oh, yes. Okay, so for and then while. Okay. File name into move occurs. Right. So we need to grab the file name here, maybe. String file name into. Right, and then just use that here. And then we can use it here. Is that all we need to do? Yeah. Okay. So now is it going to detect this, and its syntax is going to return none or some. So we can test that here. Cargo run t.c. No, it did not. It did not. In fact, there was an error message that came out really briefly, wasn't there? Let's see if I can see it. No, I thought there was an error message. There wasn't. Okay, so it's not detecting the file name. And of course, this is in the middle of editing stuff. So how are we going to detect this? Or how are we going to debug this? So first of all, that's a string. And that's an ampersand ampersand stir. And I guess we can I don't know if this is going to work because we're going to be redrawing the screen 60 times a second. And I don't know where that's going to come out. Yeah, so we don't even see it. But what we could do is cheat. Cargo, screen. Oh, not script. There we go. And now we say cargo run t.c, control Q, exit that, and then rec. And see, does it show? Oh, there's the dot in there. That's why it's not matching. So we're comparing .c with C, .h with C, and .cpp with C. We're not comparing it with the dot. And what this is doing is it's actually finding it with the dot. So we can just change up our editor syntax stuff, right? We don't need the dot in there. We can just assume the dot is part of it. And then get rid of that print statement. And get rid of this rec file. And then say cargo run t.c. Yeah, okay, now it says C. And if I say cargo run cargo.lock, now it's no file type. Okay. So that's all working. We do have issues here. Oh, replace file name with file name. Of course. I can do that. That's on line 79. And then what are we warning about here? Oh, changes to editor syntax. Okay. Yeah. I should have gotten used to Clippy preferring this by now. And then file name is empty. And we didn't actually test this. Let's test this now. As soon as it builds, it's all clean. Cargo run. Yep. So we're getting no file type. So it didn't panic. That's the good news. Okay, so let's commit these changes. What are we up to here? 162. So we did. What was the last push? Well, the last commit was here, 160. So we did 161 and 162. Hit commit -m 161, 162. Wow. Detect file type. Right, stir archer and stir comp come from string. Stir archer returns a pointer to the last occurrence of a character in a string. Stir comp returns 0 if two given strings are equal. So we're just basically looping over all the entries in HLDB using J as the index. And then we use I for the inner loop to search on all the file matches. And the way we do it here, is just to do a nested for each entry in HLDB. Then we check each file match and find out which one matches. And Rust is being very helpful in allowing us to match a double ampersanded stir. There we go. With a string. With an ampersand string. So that's very kind of it. Okay. But this is all straightforward. We want to call editor select syntax highlight wherever e-file name changes. This is an editor open and editor save. Oh, editor save needs to do this as well. Okay. Fn save. Because if we change the file extension, we want to be able to syntax highlight. Oh, you know what? I didn't even look to see. Okay, we do have C, but it's not highlighting the number. Oh, because I'm still passing zeros in. I need to pass in the syntax flags. Some IDX is equal to syntax. Then we're going to return HLDB of id x dot flags else 0. And this is just flags. And then we need the same exact code for all the other flags wherever we have comma 0. And that's going to be every time we insert a char. So this is why I wanted to put the flags in there directly. Okay, can we just do self? Okay, and then we can just put flags here. And here's another comma 0. So do that. Flags. Flags. And then flags. Like that. And then flags here. That's it. Okay. That's very busy. Oh, self.hdlb. Okay. Very busy, but it's doing the job, and it should be cleaned up. Okay, so now look, we're getting the numbers highlighted. So because it's detecting the C stuff. Okay. And then it should be an editor save, which means we're doing it right after this. So if file name is null, okay, then we're going to do this. Editor. Oh, and I have to pass in select syntax highlight. And it's going to be self syntax equals. And we're going to pass in self HLDB and self.filename. Is that going to work? It does not work. Can I do it that way? Yes. Okay. So this does this trick here. And now let's see if it works. So in order to test that, we have to create a new file, cargo run. It shows up as no file type. I can just say int foo equals 3 semicolon, and then I can say Control S for save. Save as foo.c, and see if it flips. It does, but we need to actually redraw everything to re-highlight everything. Yeah, okay. At this point, when you open a C file in the editor, you should see numbers getting highlighted. And you should see C in the status bar where we display the file type. When you start up the editor with no arguments and save the file with a file name that ends in .c, you should see the file type in the status bar change satisfyingly from no to C. However, any numbers you might have in the file will not be highlighted. Very unsatisfying. Let's re-highlight the entire file after setting E syntax. In editor, select syntax highlight. Okay, so this is where things break, right? Because now we don't have access to the whole file. What this is saying is re-highlight everything, but we can re-highlight. Okay, so what we can do is change this to find highlight, and then have this editor select syntax highlight of not-self, right? And then we can say let self syntax is equal to find highlight self.hldb and self file name. And then we can say if self.syntax is not equal to the old syntax, then we can go through the whole kit and caboodle of here. And then we can just loop over all the file rows for R in self rows. I've forgotten how we store this stuff here. Yeah, it's just a vector. Rows iter. Self rows. Oh no, just R dot update syntax flags. No, oh, self editor find highlight. There we go. And now we need to find this guy here and change this to find highlight. Right. There we go. And then on save, we say select syntax, and we say self dot select syntax highlight. Right? Private associated function. Oh, I can't call it directly yet. Okay, so let's fix that. And that is in row. Done. So now we can call it. It doesn't like this. Oh, it can't be mutable? Iter mute? There we go. Okay, so now let's see if this works. So let's quit out of this. I'm going to say rmfoo.c. Cargo run. Okay, so there's no highlight. Int foo equals 3. There's still no highlight. Control S to save, foo.c, and look at that. It turned red. So that's good news. So that was step 164. We simply loop through each row of the file, call editor, update syntax on it, and now the highlighting immediately changes when the file type changes. Okay. I'm still not liking passing all those flags around, but I haven't come up with a better way to do it yet. Okay, so we did 163 and 164. We're getting close to the end. There's only like 180 something steps, right? So 163 to 164. Re-highlight file after saving with new extension. Okay, good. How much time do I have left? A little bit. Okay, let's see how far we can get. Colorful strings. With all of that out of the way, we can finally get to highlighting more things. Let's start with strings. Okay, so we're going to use 35. Right, oh, that's why we saved the thing here. 35 is magenta. Ugh. Do we really want magenta? Yes, yes, we're coloring strings magenta. Okay. All right, so I have to figure out where are we storing this syntax to color thing. Is that in row? I forgot where that is. Yeah, here it is. So we have normal, number, and match, and now we're going to add string. And to convert it, it's going to be magenta. Let's see if that works. Okay, so magenta is actually a string. That worked. Now let's add an HL highlight strings bit to the flags field of the editor syntax struct. Say that 10 times fast. There we go. So we're going to put strings, and we're going to make that the next bit up. Actually, doesn't Rust do binary also? Is it OXOB? I don't want to write out all the binaries though, because it would be OB 5, 6, 7, 8, like that, right? And then we can see each bit move along. But I think we know hex well enough that we can do it this way. There's also this syntax, but I don't know if Rust will support that. It is a constant, so it should do constant folding, right? Let's see if it does. It does. Okay, so let's do it this way. That's fine. Then highlight numbers or highlight strings. So now we can actually use the or like that. Yep. And then now for the actual highlighting code, we will use an in-string variable to keep track of whether we are currently inside a string. If we are, then we'll keep highlighting the current character as a string until we hit a closing quote. And it looks like we're going to be doing strings using double quotes or single quotes. But it looks like we're not going to be checking escape characters in the string. Escape character meaning if I have a string like this, that's a string, right? We got an open quote and a closed quote, but we could also have a string that goes like this, foo bar. And this is a 7-character string, FOO double quote BAR. But this syntax highlighter is going to find that first double quote and then stop there. Maybe we'll fix that later. I don't know. Let's find out. So let's do this. Let's save that. Let's go to, oh, this is in our row code, right? Yeah. So there's the number stuff. So just above the number stuff, we're going to do the string stuff, right? So if flags n highlight strings, and here we can actually do it. Oh, I have to say not equal to 0, right? And then we can say if in string, which is going to be a bool, which we don't have yet. Then we're going to say we're going to set the row highlight as a string, self hl I equals highlight string. Right? If C is in string is 0. Oh, it's not a Boolean. What is this doing? Let's try to figure this out. Oh, Supercuber, hello. Thanks for joining. Let's see. If C is in string, then in string is 0. Increment I, previous step equals 1. Else, if C is a double quote or a single quote, oh, then we're saving the string that way. So it's not a bool. It's a char. Can I make it a null? Or I should make it an option char, right? That's the way to do it in Rust, right? If in string, if let sum current is equal to in string, then we're going to set this to a string, and we're going to say if C is equal to, Right, C is, let me just double check here. C is a char, right? It is. If C equals current, oh, this might not work because we're borrowing it, and now we're gonna change it. In string is equals some C. No, in string is none. And I'm not sure what this is doing. Oh, this is the type of string it's in. It's in a double quote string or a single quote string. Mind showcasing once it compiles? Actually, sure. Right now, so what do I've got? And I don't want to do cargo run because I'm in the middle of building stuff. So target, debug, kilo. So right now, the new feature is that it detects a file type. So we have t.c. and it's saying over here that it's a C file, and so it's highlighting numbers, and we're just about to add highlighting strings for C. If I open a file that doesn't have an extension, which doesn't exist, or it doesn't have an extension it recognizes, like cargo.lock, now it says no file type, and it doesn't highlight numbers, although you can't tell from here. I guess you could. Those would be red if it thought it was a C file. Oops, quit. Okay. And then the other feature is that if I say run without a file name, it doesn't have a file name. I can create a new file that has a number in it on G34, and I can hit Control S, save as asdf.c, and then this no ft will change to C, and the number should get highlighted. And it is, and it does. So that's what we got so far. And now what we're doing is the strings, and we'll highlight that as soon as we get there. But it sounds like what we want to do is we don't want, we can save this, right? Okay, and then I++ prev sep equals 1. Prev sep equals 1. Oh, I see. Prev sep equals true. Prev sep. Oh. Prev sep equals true. Continue. Else, if C equals quote or single quote, or C is equal to, oh, I see. Did it wrong. Because it's a char, so it has to be a char like this. Double quote or single quote. Then we're going to set in string is equal to some C. Self HLI is equal to highlight string, and continue. And it's going to complain because this else if should be collapsed, which means this should be collapsed. No, that won't work. Okay. Yeah, I can just do a continue here because we have the iterator. We don't need to increment I outside of this. I'm not sure why they went with this instead of a for loop, because there's no fors in here. Maybe there's going to be some point where we're going to have a for loop in here and iterate, and that's going to break this thing, I think. Okay. We'll just build. Got to spell that right. Oh, unnecessary parentheses. Okay. Value assigned to instring is never used. Value assigned to instring is never used. What? What? Aren't I using it right here? I'm confused. Why aren't we reading it? What's missing? 160 and 165. This is 160 and 165. We're setting those, but we're reading it right here. Maybe it's overwritten before being read. What does this think this is? It's an option char, right? And this is a char. I'm confused by this error. I continue because, thank you. Thank you, Supercuber. I missed that. Yeah, this has to go outside. We don't want to reset it each time. And thank you, Rust, for catching that. I tweeted the other day about Rust being better and easier to use. And this, I would not have caught that for a long time in writing C code. I put the initializer in the wrong spot. Okay. So now, what is that going to do? Oh, it's going to highlight strings. So let's see if we can get strings to highlight. Cargo run t.c. I don't think I have any strings in. Oh, I do. Oh, look at that. They're magenta. Look at that. Neat. We got red numbers and we have purple strings. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, no, you had it right on the nose, Supercuber. You had it exactly right. That in string was getting reset each time through the loop instead of set once and then. Okay. Okay, so this is happy. This is making me happy anyway. As you can see, we highlight both double-quoted strings and single-quoted strings. Sorry, Lispers Rustaceans. We actually store either a... Really? We actually store either a double quote or a single quote character as a value of in string, so we know which one closes a string. All right, if we're not currently in the string, then we have to check to see if they're at the beginning of a double quote or single quote. If we are, we store the quote in the string. We should probably take escape quotes into account when highlighting strings. Yeah. If the sequence is \quote or \double quote, then escape quote doesn't close the string in the vast majority of languages. Right, so let's add that. So this is if we're in string. Okay, so this line here corresponds to this line here. So that means right here we're going to say if C is equal to a \, and I+1 is less than row R size. And we can do that. I+1 is less than, we have the row self.something self-chars, Len? Yeah. Then row self I+1 is equal to highlight string. And then we have to, see, this is where we increment by 2 and continue. And we can't increment by 2. How do we do that in the middle of a for loop? I plus equals 2. I'm just putting this here for now as a placeholder. We obviously can't do that. Right, and so then we continue here. So let's figure out if we're iterating, skip next iteration. I guess there's an easy way to do that, right? With just a flag. Skip next, false. We can say if skip next equals false. Continue. It's kind of a wimpy way to do it, but And then we just set it to true here, and that'll skip the next one. So then we'll be able to test. I should be able to actually add a double quote in the middle of this guy here and see the, so if I say backslash quote, right? So it ends the highlight here, then it's non-magenta here, and then it starts to highlight again, but then once it reaches the end of the line, the highlight ends. So this should work once this is working. So let's see. Oh, .hl. Oh, I put the dot there too. Why did I do that? Because it's supposed to be like this. Holy moly. There we go. All right, so let's see if this works. I edit t.c. I go down. I hit Control F. I guess I can search for a double quote, right? And then I hit backslash double quote. Yeah, so now it does do the escaping properly. And we have to do this wacky skip next business. Is there a way, if you're iterating, Rust, iterate, skip, for loop, skip 1. How to skip n items from inside an iterator loop. Nth one skips consumes exactly 2 items. So I would have to, can I do that? Let's try it. I don't know if it'll work though. Because isn't this borrowed mutably here and then we're borrowing it again? There, nth one. Yeah. Oh, I see. So we're not borrowing that mutably there, but let's see. No. So we can't do that this way. Maybe because this is enumerate. I mean, this is text chars, right? Oh, because I'd have to call next here. Would that do it? Yeah. Is nth of 1 too many? Let's find out. Control F quote. Oh, now it's not highlighting anything. Not even numbers are being highlighted. I broke something. Oh, it's because I need to make it a while. I have to say while let equal. Nope. Expected option found tuple sum. This. Okay. Yes. There we go. So quit. Okay, so highlighting is working again. Control F quote. And then backslash. That didn't break. Quote. That didn't break. Okay, so that's the way to do it instead of the skip next business. Let's get rid of skip next. Skip 1. Okay, I just learned something new. And that's the whole point of doing this. All right. Colorful single line comments. Next, let's highlight single line comments. We'll leave multi-line comments until the end because they're complicated. Okay. Let's do this single line comments thing and then we'll call it a stream. How's that sound? So we have to add to our colors. We're going to add comment. Doesn't matter which order they go in, so I'm not sure why. NCS, and it's not even in alphabetical order. I'm just adding them at the bottom as we find them. So comment And that's going to be color 36. Color 36 is cyan. Okay. So that should go. 2 warnings because we're not using them. That's okay. Colors will be highlighted in cyan. We'll let each language specify its own single line comment pattern, as they differ a lot between languages. Let's add a single line comment start string to the editor syntax struct and set it to quote quote for the C file type. Okay. Pub. This is long. Line comment start string. And we're going to add that here. We just broke our F pattern. File name flags comment start is going to be // right? And then we're going to get another warning that that's not used. Oh, we didn't. Okay, I guess it doesn't care. We never read that field. Right, so we just did that. Okay, now for the highlighting code. So editor update syntax, we're going to grab this. Oh, it could be null. Okay, so that means it has to be an option. Yep, okay. And now in our row code, this thing is turning into a beast, isn't it? SCS, single line comment string, is equal to the single line comment, sorry, start. And then we look for the len here, but we don't need to do that. If SCS len n is not in a string, so we can do starts with, right? Oh, we're in the middle of a string. Okay. Why aren't we checking to see if the flag for comments is enabled? I guess we don't care. It's colorful keywords. I guess we don't have a flag for highlighting comments. I guess if the comment string is not null, then that means we're highlighting comments. Okay, so this is where we break again, because we need to know this. That's a shame, because that breaks everything. All right, so what I need to do actually is refactor how we get the syntax information into the row data. And that's a bigger task than I was anticipating. We can just temporarily just hard code it to // right? Oh, except we need to be able to compare multiple. If let some SCS is equal to, oh, we don't need to do that. We can just say if not in string, if in string is none and C is equal to /, then we want to check C+1. We just want to look at it. We want to peek at it. Is this a peekable iterator? Let some j c2 equals row iter peek. Can I do that? Let's find out. Mitchu007, thank you for the follow. I can't peek. Oh, I can't use, so enumeration iterators aren't peekable. That's a shame. So we can still peek though, right? We can say if self.chars of I plus 1, because we did that kind of here, is equal to a slash. Then we want to mem set. So we want to set HL comment for all the remaining entries. And then we want to break. So we're just done completely. I is not mutable, but we can say for j in I dot dot self chars len self hl of j is equal to I light comment and then break. And then Clippy's going to complain. So we do that instead. Does that look all correct? If we're not in the string, that's this one here, and the character is a slash and the next character is a slash, then we highlight the comment and then break because we're done, because we highlighted the rest of the line. Let's find out. No, it doesn't like that. Self chars string can't be in. String can't be indexed by usize? Is there get? String indices are ranges of usize. Okay. So I can say self chars I to I plus 2 equals slash slash. Can I do that? No implementation. What are we comparing? For string. So that's an ampersand string. We can make this an ampersand string. All right. Let's see if that works. So do we have any comment strings in here? I guess we could just type some in. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah. It doesn't, the strings doesn't support wrapping. I have multi-line comments. I guess I could just type some single line comments in. All right. So cargo NTC, and it panics. Byte index 20 is out of bounds of this. And that's on line 158. Oh, right, you have to check the len. That's why they have the whole len thing in here. Oh, no, they don't even care. They just read off the end of the string. Okay. They're just accessing memory out of the bounds of the string, and if it's the last line of the file, it's probably going off into Neverland, right? Okay, so we just have to say if I is less than self chars len minus 1 and this, right? Okay, because what happened was a slash was at the end of the line, and then we tried to read the second slash after it, and it failed. Okay, so we don't have any. They would be cyan. Let's just scan through real quick. I thought I put 1 or 2 in here, but maybe not. I don't do a lot of commenting when I'm porting stuff, which is a mistake, right? Okay, so let's just add some of our own. Slash slash. Ooh, it's cyan. Set status message. Look at that. Okay, so that works. Neat. Okay, so we figured out the whole while thing. We figured out that we can do this mess. There should probably be maybe a helper function for this, because I'm sure there's going to be issues with the keyword searching, which is the next thing to do, which I'm going to do tomorrow. Colorful keywords. All right, that's not too bad, right? So with that, I'm going to wrap this stream up. Let's commit these changes. Cargo, no, git status, right? Yeah, git add source, git commit. Oh, what did we do last time? I keep losing where my commit message is. There it is, all the way up there. Re-highlight after file. So that was 164. So we're now up to step 171. Oh, we did a lot. Okay. Git commit -m 165 to 171. And that was just adding. Oh, did I forget to commit these changes here? Strings. Git diff. Staged. Yeah, there's no flag for, okay, strings. And now, right now we have it hard-coded. For the / comment, and we need to fix that. And the way to fix that is to refactor the way we get the syntax information down into the row highlighter code. Not looking forward to that. I got to think about how to do that. Okay, so git commit -m highlighting. I'm not going to put the numbers, strings, and hard-coded highlighting comments. And there we go. So that is that. And with that, I will end the stream. And tomorrow we're going to keep working on this. We're going to refactor this so we can get the comment correct, and then we will work on keywords. Because I imagine keywords are also going to need the same refactoring, right? Because we're going to need to pass in the keywords somehow. So we definitely need access to the current highlight information. So we will figure that out. And with that, I will bid you a good day, and I will, see you tomorrow. Take care.